Massive Liverpool news just dropped. Fabrizio Romano has confirmed a big plan involving Mohamed Salah. And there's also a shocking moment involving Salah, a teammate, and Arne Slot that's going viral. Plus, Liverpool could accept a huge offer for Cody Gakpo. Before we break it all down, make sure to subscribe for the latest Liverpool transfer news, updates, and breaking stories every day. Fabrizio Romano confirms Liverpool's plan for Mo Salah. Mohamed Salah has not been the same player for Liverpool as he was last season. The Anfield outfit have massively struggled this term, with nothing seeming to go right for Arne Slot's men. Whether it's the Premier League, the Champions League, or even the Carabao Cup, things just haven't clicked, which has left the club in a bit of a pickle. Salah is still seen as one of Liverpool's best ever players, but since he'll be entering the final year of his contract next season, questions are being asked about whether Slot should try and get a massive payday for the Egyptian king, rather than lose him for nothing. These questions have hovered over everyone at L4 for the longest time, and now it seems like the answer has finally emerged. A fresh report has just emerged from Fabrizio Romano, which has shone a light on what the Anfield outfit are actually planning to do with their £400,000 per week star. For Liverpool, I think it's going to be a busy summer for wingers. It's very clear that Liverpool need to reinforce their wingers. The situation with Mo Salah, Cody Gakpo. I think in general, Liverpool need to add something fresh in that position, he said via his YouTube channel. But at the moment, on Michael Olise, it's a similar situation to Vitinha and Real Madrid. You can appreciate the player, he is one of the best in the world in his position. But Bayern have no intention at all to let him go. Bayern are very happy with Olise, and Bayern don't even want to negotiate. Liverpool appreciate Olise, yes for sure, but who doesn't appreciate Olise? At the moment, that's the story. Bayern are very happy with the boy. There is no release clause in his contract now, and so the situation remains under control for Bayern. I think the realistic targets for Liverpool will be others. Liverpool are clearly planning to move Mohamed Salah. Salah may be one of Liverpool's best ever attackers, but at the moment, he's not proving that he's worth the £400,000 per week that the Anfield outfit are spending on high. Rhyme? Last term, his attacking output would have easily been worth that much money, but now that Slot has changed his system, the Egyptian king just isn't as good. He's failed to get into as many dangerous positions as he usually would, and even though he has scored the odd goal here and there, it's clear that he no longer has what it takes to be the Reds' talisman. Others, such as Hugo Ekitike, have started taking over Salah's role, and unless he can quickly turn things around over the next few months, it's hard to see why Slot and Richard Hughes would want to keep him around. Players such as Matheus Mane, Yan Diomande, and even Omar Marmoush have been linked with an Anfield switch, and on paper, it feels like they'd do a better job. There's a lot for Liverpool to still decide upon, of course, but with the way things are headed at the moment. In another news, Liverpool's wages to skyrocket after summer spending spree. It's a big roll of the dice. Liverpool may have to make difficult decisions in the summer transfer window as their wage bill is set to increase further. That is according to ex-Everton, Aston Villa, and Aberdeen chief executive Keith Wyness, speaking exclusively to Football Insider, after Liverpool released their financial figures for the 2024-25 season. Liverpool announced record turnover of £703 million, with commercial, matchday and broadcast revenues all increasing. Wages also increased to £418 million, with Liverpool spending the highest amount in the Premier League on their wage bill. Liverpool's wage bill only going to get big. Everton's former chief Keith Wyness, who served as CEO at Goodison Park between 2004 and 2009, and now runs a football consultancy advising elite clubs, states that bonuses for winning the Premier League will have contributed to Liverpool's high wage bill. Speaking on the new edition of Football Insider's Inside Track podcast, Wyness believes the club will have to begin bringing down their wage bill. He told Football Insider's Inside Track podcast, "I think a lot of it with the wage bill was to do with bonuses being played. Being paid for winning the league. So that's one thing, but let's not miss the fact that things like the Alexander Isak, the Hugo Ekitike deals were not included in those numbers. So they're yet to be included. So it's going to get pretty lumpy for next year. Now, it's okay at the moment. The revenues are keeping pace, and they're doing a good job on the revenue side. But as I say, with those numbers to come in next year, they're going to have to do some dancing as well in the transfer window to try and get the wage bill down in some way. We all know they've been unlucky with injuries, with Isak, etc., but still, that's a big roll of the dice that hasn't quite come off yet. So it's a big number. And as I say, it's only going to get bigger when you start looking at those big deals they spent in the summer. Mohamed Salah edges closer to Liverpool exit. Sources have told Football Insider that Saudi clubs are readying bids for Mohamed Salah in anticipation of the upcoming summer transfer window. Liverpool will allow Salah to leave Merseyside if a big offer comes in for the 33-year-old, who has been at the club since 2017. The Reds are exploring potential replacements for Salah if he does depart, with Newcastle winger Anthony Gordon on their radar. Why Liverpool would be mad to let Andy Robertson leave, as staggering stats emerge versus Wolves. Andy Robertson is set to leave Liverpool at the end of his contract this summer, after almost a decade at Anfield. The 31-year-old came close to leaving in January, but the Reds ultimately decided that they could not afford to let him go. He showed exactly why on Friday night as Arne Slot's team progressed to the quarter-final of the FA Cup by beating Wolves 3-1. Robertson opened the scoring brilliantly after the break and put in a superb cross for Mohamed Salah's strike just 2 minutes later. Liverpool were beaten by Wolves in the Premier League on Tuesday, but Curtis Jones' fine effort secured a notable win at Molineux on Friday, despite Hwang Hee-chan's late consolation. The sensational stats behind Andy Robertson's display. Robertson has spent much of this season either on the bench or coming off it for a brief period towards the end of games. Liverpool signed Milos Kerkez from Bournemouth in a deal worth around £40 million in the summer, yet the Hungarian has not massively convinced. The 22-year-old got his career off to a slow start at Anfield, although of late he has started to look slightly more like the price tag he arrived for. Robertson was the hero on Friday, however, with the left-back smashing in from the edge of the box to open the scoring. It has always been the pace and the engine that have made the Scotland international such a reliable and impressive fullback since arriving from Hull City in 2017. Some of that has been lost in recent years, but it was on full show again on Friday as he provided the overlap for Rio Nungumoha and crossed to the back post for Salah to finish. Robertson provided 4 chances for his teammates on the night, making an impressive 20 passes into the final third. And going backwards, the defender made 2 clearances and a huge 7 recoveries. It was when he was on the ball that his best work came, however, with the 31-year-old completing 95 of his 103 passes. Ex-Everton chief Keith Wyness exclusively told Football Insider in January that Robertson would join Tottenham if a replacement was found, but Liverpool may now be thinking of an extension. What Michael Owen said about Robertson Liverpool can still produce a positive end to the season, despite the disappointment of failing to retain the Premier League title. They travel to Galatasaray for the first leg of their Champions League last 16 tie on Tuesday, before hosting Tottenham next weekend. Speaking about Robertson on Friday, Michael Owen told TNT Sports, "The big question is, will he play instead of Kerkez? Because of course Kerkez was rested as well, but I think he should personally. I think he's been pensioned off far too soon by a lot of people. He's got a lot to offer still." Liverpool fans say the same thing about Cody Gakpo as embarrassing stats emerge. Liverpool fans continue to remain unhappy with Cody Gakpo's performances despite their 3-1 victory over Wolverhampton Wanderers on Friday. It was a routine FA Cup round of 16 victory for the Reds as they bounced back from their defeat at Molineux on Tuesday with ease. Many players impressed, including Rio Nungumoha, who continued to showcase just how much potential he has. However, many supporters have still been left unimpressed by Gakpo, who once again failed to get on the scoresheet. As a result, many fans once again turned to X to slam the attacker, despite Liverpool's demolition of Wolves. Cody Gakpo continues to face Liverpool fans' wrath. Gakpo has not had a good time at Liverpool recently. The attacker has only netted once in his last 10 appearances, which has caused fans to constantly scrutinize the 26-year-old. Against Wolves, Gakpo was placed up top in the hope of finally ending his poor form. However, the Netherlands international struggled to offer anything and was eventually brought off with 5 minutes to go. As a result, many fans have demanded that Arne Slot simply drop the attacker, with it being clear that Gakpo is offering nothing while he is out of form. In another news, Liverpool star embarrasses teammate and Slot, with boss given season and sack-defining decision to make. There was one clear difference maker in Liverpool's second clash with Wolves this week, and his spectacular showing has handed Arne Slot a decision that could make or break the season and save him from the sack. Liverpool put one foot in front of the other and fell flat on their face in midweek. The Reds travelled to bottom-side Wolves in the hopes of strengthening their claim for a Champions League place, yet tasted defeat, handing Wolves just their 3rd win of the campaign. The chance to exact a measure of revenge came quickly, with Liverpool again visiting the Midlands for an FA Cup 5th-round tie on Friday night. Slot largely went with the same players who struggled a few days prior, though much to the joy of many a Liverpool fan, gave Rio Nungumoha a rare start. Liverpool fans and legends alike, such as Steven Gerrard, have been demanding Nungumoha start in place of Cody Gakpo for weeks. Slot did select the 17-year-old from the off, though Gakpo remained in the 11 at the tip of the attack, with Hugo Ekitike given the night off. Nungumoha was the only bright spark in a turgid first half, and continued to dazzle in the second half prior to his substitution in the 69th minute. And despite Andy Robertson grabbing both a goal and assist after the break, it was the electric Nungumoha who scooped the Player of the Match award. The Athletic's James Pearce described Nungumoha as the X-factor in the tie, and highlighted the winger's stunning statistics that are even more impressive, given he didn't play the full 90 minutes. Pearce wrote, "The youngster completed more dribbles, 3, won the most duels, 6, had the most shots on target, 2, and had more touches in the opposition box, 9, than any of his teammates. He created 1 chance and completed 30 of his 33 passes, 91%. Not bad for what was his first senior start away from Anfield. In truth, Nungumoha did more in 68 minutes than Gakpo has done from the left-wing position in months. And it made a mockery of Slot's general reluctance to give him more opportunities, despite the fact he's clearly ready for first-team football. His display now places even greater scrutiny on Slot's upcoming team selections. with Liverpool hoping to salvage their season. In another news, Mohamed Salah to play key role as Liverpool plan to accept huge Cody Gakpo offer. Cody Gakpo is the latest Liverpool star to be linked with a move away this summer, and Arne Slot may be prepared to let him leave Anfield. The 26-year-old has struggled to impress so far this season, and has scored just 6 goals in 27 Premier League appearances during what has been a difficult season. However, former Man United chief scout Mick Brown told Football Insider that any deal will likely depend on whether Mohamed Salah is allowed to leave Anfield. After last summer's chaotic overhaul, the Reds are determined to avoid making the same mistake and hope to keep the majority of their squad together. It is unlikely that more than one star attacker will be shown the exit door this summer, despite Liverpool looking to sign a new winger, with multiple options on their radar. Liverpool could accept huge Cody Gakpo offer. Football Insider revealed on the 21st of February that Liverpool are reluctant to let Gakpo leave, and will only do so if they already have a replacement lined up. Should Salah leave the club this summer, they will enter the market to replace him as well, and therefore a deal for Gakpo will not take place, as they plan to avoid an overhaul. Gakpo is somebody who could have left last summer, Brown told Football Insider. He was one of a few players who were spoken about, these attacking players at Liverpool, who haven't quite been as impressive as Slot may have hoped. He ended up staying, but his performances this season haven't done much to change the opinion that he might be a bit below the level they hope for. In that case, if a huge offer comes in from somewhere like Bayern Munich, then I'm sure they'll listen and be prepared to let him move on. The problem is, Mohamed Salah is going to play a big part, because there's a big chance he could leave Liverpool, and they won't want too much change. After everything that happened last summer and the chaos of it all, I can't see Liverpool letting more than one attacker leave, otherwise it just adds to the unsettled feeling. So a lot will depend on what happens with Salah. If he leaves, I expect they'll keep Gakpo, and if he stays, then maybe Gakpo will go instead. What is next for Mohamed Salah at Liverpool? Salah's future at Anfield remains up in the air as Saudi Pro League clubs continue to plot moves to lure him away from Merseyside when the transfer window opens. Saudi interest has not faded, with clubs in the Middle East keen to hand him a mega deal to make him the face of the league after missing out previously. Brown told Football Insider on the 5th of March that Salah is edging closer to leaving Liverpool, with the club now prepared to accept big money offers at the end of the season. The 33-year-old, in another news report, Liverpool make lucrative contract offer amid interest from European giants. Liverpool table lucrative contract offer for Ibrahima Konate. Amid growing European interest, Liverpool are making a determined push to secure the long-term future of Ibrahima Konate, though interest from across Europe threatens to complicate matters. According to reporting from Team Talk, the Reds have now presented their most lucrative salary proposal, yet in a bid to convince the French defender to extend his stay at Anfield. Konate, now 26, has become a core figure in Liverpool's defence since arriving from RB Leipzig in a £36 million move in the summer of 2021. Across 169 appearances, he has lifted 4 major honours, establishing himself as one of the Premier League's most physically dominant centre-backs. Yet with his current deal edging towards expiry, the situation has become increasingly delicate. Team Talk report that Liverpool remain hopeful they can persuade Ibrahima Konate to sign a new contract at Anfield and have now put forward their biggest salary offer to him yet. The club's internal confidence is understood to have grown, although several European heavyweights continue to monitor the situation closely. Contract situation intensifies at Anfield. Negotiations between Liverpool and Konate's representatives have been ongoing since autumn 2024. Despite those talks, the defender is now just months away from becoming a free agent. As the report states, Konate is now free to leave Anfield as a free agent on July 1st and already has permission to negotiate with overseas clubs ahead of a potential summer move. That reality shifts leverage towards the player and potential suitors. Clubs pursuing him would avoid a transfer fee, instead directing funds towards signing bonuses and incentives. Liverpool's latest offer reportedly focuses on increasing the defender's base salary, which sources say represents the highest proposal yet placed before him. European giants enter transfer race competition for Konate is formidable. Team Talk reveal that multiple clubs have approached his camp in recent weeks. Real Madrid remain firmly in the race and have already presented an offer in principle to Konate's camp, the report explains. Meanwhile, Barcelona have also entered discussions, joining Inter Milan in exploring potential deals. The appeal is obvious. As Team Talk outline, the opportunity to secure a player of Konate's caliber, still in his prime years, without paying a transfer fee, has proved too tempting for several top European sides to ignore. For Liverpool, the challenge lies in convincing the defender that stability and ambition at Anfield outweigh the allure of a new project abroad. Deadline approaching for final decision. Liverpool are keen to bring clarity to the situation quickly. Prolonged uncertainty